guys, I'm Louise.
And I'm Drew.
And welcome back to the Ericksons.
Today we're doing a Q&A video. Let's get started.
So we are getting our questions from Twitter today. And you can follow us at _Ericksons. First question. I mean, I wanted just the Ericksons, no underscore. Or if there's such thing as an overscore.
No, I think the underscore is good because it separates the E's.
Yeah, actually, Twitter gave us T Ericksons without asking me. But then I changed it.
Oh, okay.
Did you want T Ericksons?
No, I was just going to T-pose for the T.
So Drew and I went to a company party a couple days ago.
That was fun.
We went dancing upstairs because it was like a bar/restaurant. And Drew was like the only guy dancing. He has no inhibitions when he's dancing. And literally like he was doing Fortnite dances and like the T-pose. And I was cracking up. First question comes from
Jaden Smith.
Not Jaden Smith.
Jay
Hydesmith. He says, what's been the biggest difference between married life and non-married life?
I would say, not everyone does this, but we pushed our bank accounts together when we got married.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And that definitely, to me, changes a lot because now I don't get to be as crazy reckless with my spending as I used to be. I'm thankful that I'm married now because you kind of guide me with making more wise financial decisions. When I was just a bachelor and I wasn't that smart with my money, I wasn't good at saving.
You weren't dumb either though. That was something I really thought was important before going into a marriage, was that we were on like a similar mindset of how we should spend our finances.
We both were pretty smart with money, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And I would say when we got married, kind of the merging of our two tactics of, for me, it was like, well, just make more money so you can spend more money.
Yeah.
And for her, it's like work really hard
Save
and put
money.
a lot of it and spend as little as possible. But with our minds combined, we do good for both, I think.
Yeah, I think we even each other out, definitely. Okay.
What was yours?
So my biggest difference is probably living together because we waited until we were married before we moved in together.
Not everyone does that.
Yeah. It was nice though because like the last month of us being engaged, we lived in the same town about a mile from each other, so we still got to visit each other a lot and see each other, which was important to me, and we got to know each other better.
I like living together.
Me too.
It's nice. I like that when we watch scary movies and shows, I don't have to go to bed by myself.
That's literally like one of my favorite things because I love scary movies, but I cannot watch them by myself. My imagination goes crazy. And literally I'm thinking like people are going to start floating out of the ceiling, but I feel much more...
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm just saying
in real life?
A couple of nights you've woken up and be like, someone's coming out of the ceiling.
No!
And I'm like, no, there isn't.
No way.
And then you're okay.
What?
You don't remember saying?
No. Okay, now I'm really scared. Are you lying?
Our bed is kind of in our closet, so there's a lot of coats.
We'll give you a house tour someday, but...
There's a lot of coats hanging above us, so that
There's no coats above us. It's like on the side.
On the sides, but I'm just saying it's easy to get the impression that someone's right there when they're not.
Anyways, this is so off topic. We can't be succinct with our answers. So basically, yeah, moving in together and living together, that's probably the biggest difference.
Thank
okay,
you.
next question.
Charles Lewis asks, if you guys could travel anywhere in the world together, where would you go, and do you ever plan to go there?
I really want to go to Sweden, actually, because Drew is Swedish and he has Swedish heritage. This past Christmas, we were trying to like do a family tree to see how far we could go, to see if maybe we had like long lost relatives in Sweden. But so far, it hasn't really been an easy answer or clear. But yeah, Sweden or Scandinavia region.
Skratade, Florida.
Oh my gosh.
We're ready for Sweden. Where would I want to go in the world? I don't know. Like, there's certain things I definitely want to see, but I don't want to be there too long because I don't like big cities. But, like, I don't know. I've always wanted to visit New York City. I feel like there's a lot of history there, and a lot of movies have been filmed there, and I just keep seeing pictures of it. It's kind of one thing that it's like, I'd like to be there for, like, a day. I want to have, like, a good 6 hours in NYC. Just kind of get some food, visit some
Go to the
tall buildings.
Lady.
The Statue of Liberty, yes.
The Statue of Liberty.
The Lady, TM. That's just a place that's always popped up in my mind of like, I want to go there someday, eventually.
Yeah, me too. I actually really like the city for about a week.
A week.
And then I'm like, I want to go home where there's no traffic.
It sounds very crowded, and I don't like looking for parking spaces. We do pretty well in NorCal because there's usually a pretty easy way to find a parking space. So
less people, less problems. Grant Hardy at the Apple Sheep says, any tips for dating? Both point of views from a girl and guy's perspective.
I recommend walking up to them and just kissing them instantly. Because that's what I did with...
You're going to get charged with like sexual harassment.
By who?
By YouTube. Like, you need to keep this PG.
Okay. No, I think the important thing I would suggest to anyone who's looking to date is to listen to them. Ask them questions. Ask them things that they're interested in. Try to figure out what they like and make sure that they feel heard. And if you get the listening thing down, I think you'll be thankful for that skill or for that inherent ability from the very beginning, because that's what Louise did for me. And I thought she was an excellent listener, and she was great at making me feel heard so that I could talk about anything I wanted to talk about and still feel like she was interested in the conversation. And y'all know how big of a talker I am. I talk a lot. So,
some of them don't know, actually. Some of them looked up haircutting videos and found me. That's a very good answer, hun. And I really do appreciate that about you. Like, he is a very rare breed of person. Like, he cares and he's thoughtful. I know he always puts me first, and I try to put him first, so it kind of is fair. Yeah.
I think that's a great start for people in the dating world. Listen and ask. You know, make the other person feel
be engaged.
That's a great way to start, and then of course you can go from there. Be romantic and figure out your love languages and what the other person like. What are the 5 words of affirmation? Physical touch, gift giving, quality time,
acts of service,
and acts of service. That's the 5.
Yeah.
So that some people are likely more of one of those than the other.
And those love languages aren't to know like how to love others. It's how you yourself want to be loved. So you would tell your significant other like, hey, I feel the most loved when you do acts of service for me. Like when you help me with the dishes or whatever. We're getting way too deep and like off topic. But for me, we
can do a whole video on dating.
Yeah, we should someday. My tips on dating for a girl is to just know your worth and have standards. I knew exactly what I wanted in a relationship, and I didn't have my first boyfriend or like started dating anyone until I was 18. So I waited a long time to know that like someone was worth my time and like worth my energy. Don't settle for someone who doesn't deserve you, and also treat each other with respect. That's really all you can do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Caden Wills Moore says, what does Louise feel about you spending all your time and money on one company and its products while mainly considering the other channels?
So if you guys don't know, my husband runs a network of channels called Tailosive, that right here. You can look it up, and his most popular one is Tailosive Tech, which most of you probably have heard of it. But if you haven't, check him out. He's really cool and interesting and loves Apple. So
he's referring to me spending a bunch of money on Apple specifically.
Yes. iPhones, iMacs, MacBooks, iPads, AirPods, iMac Minis. What else?
iMac Mini.
How do I feel about you spending all your money on Apple? Well, I have to say, I am quite indifferent actually, because Drew earns his money and he also invests his money back into his company, which I am for. So far it's been working out with him and how he's been running his business. So just keep doing what you're doing, babe.
Thank you. Well, I was going to say Apple, in regards to my business expenses, is not the biggest one. I spend way more money on
rent,
utilities, specifically,
rent
and like
so expensive.
Wi-Fi is like almost
200,
like over $200 a month.
Yeah, and that's just for his office too, not our house.
The rent space is
don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Well, it's not crazy. I mean, I still found a good deal for the amount of space I have. And I'm very grateful for the office space, but I just mean like more money I think goes towards that than Apple products. And Louise also, I think, has a good understanding that the products I buy and I make videos about pay for themselves.
George Nasser? Neasser? I don't know how you say that. I'm sorry. He asks, are you planning to have a baby? When? So, Yes.
Yeah.
Eventually, we do want to have kids.
Tomorrow.
No.
Oh, she's pregnant.
Not tomorrow.
She's hit it so well.
I have not hit it so well. This is just my lunch. Yes, we are planning to have children. Mentally and emotionally, I feel maybe 10 years is when I'll be ready, but realistically, maybe like 5 to 7 years. I'm 21, so in 7 years I'll be 28. I feel like that's a good age to have kids.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely want to be a father someday. I definitely agree that we're not ready right now, and we also would like to have some years of just time for ourselves, and we don't have to worry about kids. But yeah, it's certainly something we would like to do someday. Some couples are like, we never want to have kids.
Yeah.
Some couples
I'm
are
not
like
against kids.
that they have a set number of kids they want, and
yeah, we're very undecided right now. We're young. We're living our lives, and we really want to have our finances in check before we start like bringing human beings into this world who will be responsible for it. So I think like we just want to be responsible before all that happens.
Cover ourselves financially.
Yeah, I told Drew before we have kids, I definitely want to own a house outright, not mortgaged or anything. But we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, so someday.
One can dream.
Okay.
Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey guys, I'm Louise.
And I'm Drew.
And
Gotta remember your lines.
sorry. Welcome back to the Ericksons.
I'm Drew.
We're not going backwards.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see how that turned out.
And I'm Drew.
What
I'm
else?
Mac Mini. I don't know what that is.
Wait, you don't know what iMac Minis are?
It's not a thing.
Good job, hon.
Thank you too.
Thank you. iMac Minis, which don't exist. Oh my god. Let's go have dinner.